Hello everyone, this is Hime Figueroa, and as you probably know because of my community post, I finally got into college, where I am studying digital animation, meaning that one day in the future I'll be creating animations starting original characters or even pre-existing characters. The latter one is related to this video's topic because for every popular piece of media, like say Super Mario of course, there are plenty of fans that create a ton of amazing, well-written, and just generally great projects. But there's also the ones that make projects that are absolutely terrible. And that leads us to today's video topic, Gabasonian. For those that don't know, Gabasonian is a video game but mostly Mario content creator that first began by making video game related comments in the early 2010s but has since moved on to create funny animations. And if the title and thumbnail of the video didn't make it clear, these are easily some of the most unfunniest pieces of shit I had ever seen in my entire life. Because, oh my dear god, what it had done to the Mario cast. Today, I want to make a big deep dive into Gabasonian's content to explain the origins behind his products and also why I despise these funny Mario animations. Please note that as you saw in the beginning of the video, do not harass Gabasonian. I may dislike his content, but this doesn't mean that you need to harass the person itself, okay? Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. Let's go all the way to 2011 to 2017, where Gabasonian was originally just a person that created comments on DeviantArt. How are these comments in particular? Well, for the most part, these comments were either meta commentating on pre-existing Mario-related content or just some original stories. Now, for the most part, there are plenty of things to really like about these comments. Some of my favorites and samples include Super Link and The Legend of Peach, Paper Mario being afraid to swim in the water because, he's made out of paper, Luigi having a dream where he's super buff, and of course, Super Mario Boom! They definitely got me a big chuckle out of me. I also really like the art style. It gave me so much classic Angry Birds vibes. Though you may notice that the art style changed a little bit, as originally the characters had their color-coded eyes before they were changed to just having black pupils. Never mind, I still really like the art style. You can also tell that these comics screen that they were made during the 2010s, wherein references such as the fans' short fear that Rosalina could possibly replace Daisy as the second most prominent female character in the franchise, or even the year of Luigi. For the most part, there are plenty of good things to talk about Gaba's original comments, although I do have a bit of criticism regarding them, and that is when the process of good old flatterization, specifically a Turtles Forever type of flatterization where all the characters are basically portrayed as the same goofy versions of themselves, when some of the characters' personality traits such as Bowser being, the bad guy. Luigi in particular is an interesting case because he doesn't seem to have any of his goofball cowardly personality traits, which is weird because some of these comments were released in 2013, the year of Luigi. And one of those games that came out on that year? That's right, Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, a game that perfectly captures Luigi's personality. However, the two characters with easily the most bizarre portrayals in these comics are easily Mario and Peach, but mostly the former. Mario is basically portrayed as a simp who every time he looks at a hot woman, he's already being flirty and talking about how hot they are, which causes Peach to get jealous with him. Now, why they're written like this? Well, the answer should be pretty obvious. In the eyes of many fans, they see Mario and Peach to be the most benevolent characters of the main cast, whose roles only consist of being the main hero and the damsel in distress. Therefore, they come across as a bit boring compared to everyone else. But Mario and Peach are not flat characters as many people, especially Luigi and Daisy fans, might think they are. No, they're both nice people, of course, but Mario can also be playful and cocky, while Peach can also be bubbly and ditzy. But yeah, for some reason, in a lot of fan projects, fans had the idea to basically change their personalities a bit. Some comments that made me question the relationship includes one where Mario, for some reason, confuses Rosalina with Peach. Another one where Peach asks Mario if her dress made her look fat. Mario intends to say that she looks fine, but for some reason he says, "Hell yeah, you look fatty," causing Peach to slap on him out of anger. What is this, a crappy mobile game ad? And even a comic based on the opening cutscene of Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, back when Pauline was limited in appearing in those games, where Peach, who for some reason her dress doesn't have sleeves, nor she isn't wearing gloves, gets jealous over Mario inviting Pauline to the mini Mario land. Pauline's inclusion in these games may be weird at first until you remember that the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series is meant to be paying homage to the original Donkey Kong arcade game, as well as the Game Boy expansion, where Pauline was the damsel in distress. It wouldn't make sense to have Peach in these scenarios. Now, while I did enjoy most of these comics, there were some that honestly weren't great in my opinion, such as this one where Luigi becomes a complete stalker towards Mario, even when he's on the bathroom. Jeez. There's this weird two-parter comic where Luigi accidentally touches Rosalina's wand and becomes her, but when his color scheme, and for some reason everyone else mistakes her for another princess until Rosalina turns it back to normal, a bit buff. Yeah, I know we haven't seen someone else use Rosalina's wand, but I'm pretty sure that they won't automatically turn into her. But despite some of my issues, I actually still really like most of Gaba's original comments because you can tell that this guy was just having some fun into making some silly Mario related comics. Which is safe to say because, this is where things are about to go downhill. After 2017, Gabasonian stopped making comics on DeviantArt because instead he went on creating a YouTube channel where he will make not only animated versions of the pre-existing comics, but also some newer animations starring the Mario cast and characters from other properties. And surely it's gonna be funny and pretty good, right?
When stars die, they turn to stardust and scatter around the cosmos.
Okay! Am I dead? What the fuck is Peach? I'm so scared!
Yeah. I had lots of problems regarding Gabasonian's animations. I was split them into 7 categories. Number 1, the flatterization, which it honestly became so bad that I think instead of flatterization I should call it Gabasoniation. All the characters pretty much lost their personality traits and became exaggerated man-childs. And I don't mean in a charming way like when Wallace. I meant everyone pretty much acts like their baby counterparts instead of, fully grown adults. Not only the good guys, all pretty much are written as assholes to each other. Take for example this animation of Mario using the Poltergeist 3000 just to expose Luigi wearing woman's underwear. I will get to that later in the video. Or Mario growing out a beard and Peach doesn't like it, but instead of outright telling Mario that she prefers him without the beard, she decides to cut it with a fucking mower. Holy shit! Yes, I am aware that people can have their own portrayals of the characters. The problem is that they need to have a balance between how they're normally portrayed and how they're portrayed in these scenarios. Otherwise, they just came across as incredibly unlikable parody versions of them. Heck, if you replace them with OCs, you're still left with a very unlikable cast of characters. Number 2, the animation and voice acting. They're both really bad. Yeah, I get it. It's a series of videos made for YouTube, so it's not going to have a high budget, but still, the animation is pretty bad as they constantly just switch a bunch of JPEGs from the original comics and kinda put some weird edits to it. Sometimes there's some actual movement, but even then it looks really stiff. Also, this brain of Bowser attending to do a smooch needs to burn in hell because it's so fucking ugly and uncanny and I hate it! As for the voice acting, well, it's just a Frankenstein's levels of mess because characters would often switch from either being voiced by a different person or not, or having their dialogue be compressed or not.
Mamma mia, fine.
Luigi?
What?
Why would I possibly like that coward?
Why the hell would Daisy would say something like that? Don't fans constantly claim that Luigi is better than Marich because they treat better to each other? Heck, where do you even get this audio clip from supposedly Daisy from? Number 3? What the actual hell did I just watch? I want you to present you this particular animation to you.
Oh. Huh?
Where's the funny? Okay, let's go.
What the fuck was that? Yeah, I think you can see the problems with this particular segment. It's just a bunch of random nonsense for like 20 seconds because, hey, it was completely random and that's funny. Except it wasn't because this is literally just brain rot nonsense. Here's an animation where both Mario and Peach are going to the beach. Chris Pratt shows up and Peach is already smitten by him. For some strange reason, Luigi shows up cross-dressing as Peach and Mario leaves. Why? Why was Luigi cross-dressed as Peach? It literally served no purpose to the story at all. It was literally just a pointless gag. Some of these animations will also feature characters from SNG4 and Terminal Montage. Why? Probably to remind viewers of better content creators than Gabasonian. Number 4. Who's your favorite? My favorite is the one that hasn't lost its brain. In this series, Gabasonian would create a poll asking viewers who's your favorite character or specific version of someone, and then he will make a video about the characters overreacting to the results in various crazy ways. This series sucks. Everyone are just being a bunch of sore losers and winners because remember, we can't have the characters act nice to each other, otherwise the audience is not going to laugh. She also makes polls about stuff that are just super unnecessary as hell, such as who's your favorite character dressed as Mario? Really, who gives a shit about that? At this point, you're just running out of ideas. Number 5. Limited amount of characters. For some reason, whenever Mario and Peach get super angry, they become these demon versions of themselves. The Mario one in particular has some origin that it comes from this weird mobile bootleg game called Super Fighter M. And then we had Blood Peach. You know, I'm starting to realize that Super Mario has a massive amount of characters. Why not just use any of them instead of creating 40 variations of the exact same 6 guys? 80% of these animations always start either Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Bowser, and Rosalina. Sure, characters like Wario, Waluigi, Pauline, Toad, Toadette, King Boo, and Bowser Jr. appear, but some like Deacon and Yoshi are seriously underutilized. But then again, it's probably for the best. Number 6, Michuku! Seriously, I have no idea which one is worse. This animation of Mario dating Amy Rose, who, you know, is 12 years old, or this one of Luigi's cross-dressing as Peach just to mess with Mario into thinking he's kissing her, when in reality he's kissing him. You know, the latter one could actually serve as an excellent entrance to the final entry in this particular part of the video. Number 7, homophobic and transphobic jokes. This guy, for whatever reason, has a weird obsession with characters cross-dressing or gender swapping, and I don't know why, because for most of the time it is not played in a safe and funny way, because most of the time the punchline is, haha, our man's absolute freak for wearing woman's underwear, which just comes across as very tasteless and offensive.
Hello, it's me, female Mario. I am Mario. I have to say that this is quite the downgrade. Your face is the definition of ugly in the dictionary.
Wow, and I thought Cody Martin dressing up as Beatty Pickett just to spite her out of a play in the Sweet Light on Deck screen transphobic. Oh well, these gender swap related videos are pretty strange, but hey, I do have to get points for these not included.
Welcome to my new game! I'm also really like a slam it jamming on a Bowser in this game.
Are you fucking joking? The Super Crown craze from 2018 is the worst thing that the Mario fanbase has ever done. In my opinion, that is. For those that don't know, the Super Crown is a power-up introduced in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, in which only Toadette can use it to transform into a Princess Peach lookalike named Peachette while using her flirting abilities. Despite having a design that makes it pretty obvious it was made to only work on Toadette in the first phrase, an artist named Hype92 and then the rest of the internet decided to use it to humanize, gender swap, and sexualize Bowser, and then the rest of every single character ever. In other words, they turned this power-up into a cringy fetish. So it's not surprised that this guy decided to shoehorn in these fetishy characters into his poorly made animations, because why the actual hell not? This first one is a pretty basic one of Mario turning into a princess, and then she then says that she could date himself.
No, after you rejected me in Super Mario Odyssey, I don't care what you want.
Oh, for freaking sake! Peach only rejected you because you and Bowser were shoving flowers into her face, thus causing her to feeling stressed out. If there's anything, Mario's the one being selfish here.
Princess Power!
No, Go Princess Pretty Cure is Princess Power because it doesn't revolve around gender swap humanizing sexualized fetishes, and we have designs that are far more pleasant to look at. The names of these characters are Bowsette, Booette, Chain Chompette, and basically name Ed, which really does not make any fucking sense because the whole reason Peachette is called that way is because she's a mixture of Peach and Toadette, with the Ed in the name coming from Toadette. And none of these characters had Toadette as part of their fusion, so instead they should have Peach's name on it! Luigi has a date with Bullshit, but she ends up getting burned in the sun, and Luigi decides to go out with Daisy. Yes! Yes! Woohoo! Everyone liked that! Oh, and guess what? This guy also created a movie design for Bullshit. But the dumbest part is that this guy is aware that Bullshit is a dead meme, and he even created a gender swap version of Bowser. So why do you keep putting the Super Crown fetish characters into these animations? Who is your favorite Bullshit? Oh, I had no idea. All the four of them look incredibly ugly. You know what? My absolute favorite would have to be regular Bowser because he is perfect and beautiful just being himself instead of this ugly "love me because I have boobs" creature from fucking hell. But believe it or not, there were two things related to Gabasonian that caught my attention for just being the absolute stupidest things that he has ever done. And no, none of them had anything revolving the Super Crown. So, what are the two things about Gabasonia that caught my attention the most? Well, the first one revolves around hypocrisy. What is it to be specific? Well, there has been a few animations where this guy constantly pokes fun at Nintendo for not making Marich an official couple, in which, yeah, I know, I get it, they still want to keep it on a status quo, but the hypocrisy is that this guy tries to claim that his Mario and Peach are superior simply because they're a couple. And why did I say couple in quotation marks? Well, it's because Gabasonia loves to write Marich as a pair of obnoxious, rude, selfish, atrocious, stupid idiots that constantly get angry over petty things, cheat on each other, and just being a pair of awful people to each other. In other words, it's hard to call Mario and Peach a couple in these animations when they had an atrociously toxic relationship. Heck, it's not just Gaba who's being a hypocrite. The fans are also being hypocrites because they're still whining and bitching about Mario and Peach being supposedly only friends while still having a healthy relationship, and yet they say absolutely nothing about these horrible portrayals of the characters. I'm sorry, Gaba, but you really shouldn't be poking fun at Nintendo for not making Marich an official couple when you constantly keep butchering these two characters all the time! Okay, I just need to calm down because, hey, at least this guy doesn't do something stupid like having Mario be so childish over.
La 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 la. Oh!
Here comes the big said. I have your IP address.
I am 100 meters from your location and approaching rapidly. Start running.
God, what have you done to Mario? Oh no! Mario received a negative comment! Oh jeez, if only Mario could had easily just deleted it and done. Nope, he instead decides to threaten the person that sent it, because that's easily the best solution out there. And to add insult to injury, because Mario is used as his profile picture, this entire animation can be summed up as Gabasonian threatening anyone that dares to criticize his poorly made and unfunny Mario animations. Now, Gaba, listen. If you're watching this video, I just want to make it clear that I am not criticizing you as a person, but instead I'm criticizing your projects. It's no doubt that you love Super Mario and you just want to create some funny, wacky projects revolving the cast. Because, like I mentioned earlier, your original comments were decent, but the reason as to why I find these animations so painfully terrible is because you basically took all the problems that I had with the comments and cranked them up to 11. Everyone is a brain-dead asshole, all the comments feels incredibly mean-spirited, the humor is extremely obnoxious, and just the presence of those stupid Superground fetishy characters. This honestly feels like it's one of those things that you would expect to see in those god-awful content farm brainwash slop channels, rather than, someone that just wants to make some funny Mario works. Now, let me introduce to a couple Mario fan words that I highly recommend to the viewers, and in my opinion, how you are supposed to do some Mario fan works done right. As Mario by Slickframe is a series of animations in which the Mario cast gets to answer some questions regarding the franchise or themselves. It's funny, entertainment to watch, and the characters act that they're supposed to do in the games. Though outside of his weird superground fetishona that is completely pointless, this series is really good and fun to watch. Caroline Draws Stuff is an artist that makes these adorable fan arts of the Mario cast done in a gorgeous art style. Plus, she also makes comments that go for a more heartwarming tone and has the characters act properly like they do in the games and to an extent the Illumination movie. And of course, you have Nintendo High by Fuso, which is basically taking all the Nintendo characters and put them in a high school scenario. This series, it's absolutely amazing and I highly recommend it. Heck, it also portrays ships like Maurice in a healthy and adorable way compared to these atrocious portrayals that Gaba does. See? People had a bunch of creative imagination when it comes to writing fanfics based on popular IPs. But if you turn it into one-dimensional, over-exaggerated, flanderized parody versions that go against their characters, I'm sorry, I had no choice but to criticize you because that's where I draw the line. And that's today's lesson. Having the characters constantly act rude to each other and throwing a bunch of random nonsense does not automatically equal funny. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully in a much more positive way. Bye bye!